crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrollers, May 28th. Crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrollers, May 28th, 2025 edition. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube Music Charts. Global Top Songs, May 16th to May 22nd, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT, Rose and Bruno Mars. Paso Bame Solto Slowed, ATLXS. El Mayor de los Ranas, Victor Valverde and J.R. Torres. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global. From the Friday, May 16th to Thursday, May 22nd, 2025, May 16th to Thursday, May 22nd, 2025. Ordinary, Alex Warren. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars. Birds of a Feather, Billie Eilish. Back to Friends, Somber. Steam's Hottest Games. Global Top Selling and Top Played Games across Steam. From the Top 100 Products by Revenue List, for Tuesday, May 20th, 2025 to Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. Counter-Strike 2. Fantasy Life I. The Girl Who Steals Time. Dota 2. Helldivers 2. Elden Ring Nitrain. CISA's Cybersecurity Alerts and Advisories. New guidance for SIEM and SOAR implementation. Advisory update on cyber threat activity targeting Commvault's SaaS cloud application, Metallic. New best practices guide for securing AI data released. Threat actors target U.S. critical infrastructure with Lumacy 2 malware. Russian GRU cyber actors targeting Western logistics entities and tech companies. One more drop in the ocean of AI. Datadog Toto, OpenBase, 1.0. Toto, Time Series Optimized Transformer for Observability, is a state-of-the-art time series foundation model designed for multivariate time series forecasting, emphasizing observability metrics. Toto efficiently handles high-dimensional, sparse, and non-stationary data commonly encountered in observability scenarios. Key features: zero-shot forecasting. Perform forecasting without fine-tuning on your specific time series. High-dimension multivariate support. Efficiently process multiple variables using proportional factorized space-time attention. Decoder-only transformer architecture. Support for variable prediction horizons and context lengths. Probabilistic predictions. Generate both point forecasts and uncertainty estimates using a student T-mixture model. Extensive pre-training on large-scale data. Trained on over 2 trillion time series data points. The largest pre-training dataset for any OpenWeight's time series foundation model to date. Tailored for observability metrics with state-of-the-art performance on GIF eval and Boom. Trump suggests 50% tariff on EU goods starting in June, and Trump threatens 25% tariff on Apple, other tech giants if they don't start making devices in America, as Trump targets Samsung, Apple phones with 25% tariff threat. In the U.S., tariffs at 10% generate $30 billion monthly without price increases. Commerce Secretary. Want to make tanks, not t-shirts in U.S. Trump explains the aim of his tariff blitz. Vietnam orders messaging app Telegram to be blocked, government document shows. 300 servers and 3.5 million euros seized as Europol strikes ransomware networks worldwide. BSI announced that half of young people want to grow up in a world without internet. German defense minister says military draft could return if volunteer numbers fall short. The U.S. military spent $6 billion in the past 3 years to recruit and retain troops. China unveils regulations on protecting military-industrial facilities. Trump demands list of names of Harvard's foreign students as he escalates vendetta against college. And Trump floats sending $3 billion in Harvard grants to trade schools. It has been commented as, Trump's Harvard international student ban could derail Belgium's Princess Elizabeth studies. Japan calls on colleges to accept students in U.S. after Harvard ban. U.S. halts new student visa interviews amid plans for social media screening. Wall Street Journal reports that immigration is the only thing propping up California's population. Rubio says blocking deportations to South Sudan will harm humanitarian aid. And in the U.S., DOJ asks Supreme Court to allow rapid deportations to countries where immigrants have no ties. ICE taps into nationwide AI-enabled camera network, data shows. 4 dead, 17 missing as heavy rains soak southern China, triggering landslides. In Australia, 3 dead, 1 missing as New South Wales faces worse flooding than many have seen in their lifetimes, and New South Wales battered by hazardous dust storm in wake of record floods. India's monsoon rains arrive 8 days early, earliest in 16 years. Google's new AI video tool floods internet with real-looking clips, and Google's AI mode is the definition of theft. Publishers say, opt-out was considered. Medium comments as, 99% of AI startups will be dead by 2026. Reportedly, authors are accidentally leaving AI prompts in their novels. Only one country in the world produces all the food it needs, study finds. Scientists warn, sea level rise could flood millions inland by 2050. Hospital superbug can feed on medical plastic, first of its kind study reveals. In Germany administrative court, cookie banner must contain reject all button. Putin says services like Microsoft, Zoom should be throttled in Russia. European Union investigates 4 major porn sites under blocks digital rules on child protection. Warning over killer fungus, which could infect millions as it spreads across Europe. Forever chemicals found in popular U.S. beers, above EPA limits. 5-year forecast sees more killer heat, fires and temperature records. Ryan Reynolds pitched an R-rated Star Wars movie to Disney, but not for him to star. That would be a bad fit. On Netflix, Titan examines the true events leading to OceanGate's doomed expedition, premiering June 11th. Marvel and DC's next comic crossover revealed, Deadpool and Batman. In the U.S., Boeing, Justice Department reached deal to avoid prosecution over deadly 737 MAX crashes, and Boeing to pay $1.1 billion as part of deal to settle 737 MAX crash cases with DOJ. Trump approves Nippon purchase of U.S. steel. In the U.S., Native American programs protected from Trump's anti-DI order, agencies say. UCSF study finds link between preteens' social media use and depression symptoms. U.S. kids of divorce earn less, face more teen pregnancy in jail study. Civitai ban of real people content deals major blow to the non-consensual AI porn ecosystem. Valve CEO Gabe Newell's Neuralink competitor is expecting its first brain chip this year. Apple to debut dedicated gaming app within days of Switch 2's arrival. Square starts live Bitcoin payments at a live event. Taiwan cracks down on public servants with mainland ID and residency. The CIA ran a Star Wars fan site to secretly communicate with informants. In the U.S. FCC, Chinese tech still embedded in rural ISPs. Sudanese army says mass graves discovered in Khartoum state. Bono. Hamas release the hostages, stop the war. Israel. Be released from Netanyahu. And Trump cautioned Netanyahu to avoid steps that undermine Iran nuclear talks. In the UK, dozens injured after car plows into crowd celebrating Liverpool soccer triumph. Police arrest man, rule out terrorism. Putin remains confident in Russia's ultimate victory in Ukraine. U.S. intelligence reports. Trump softens on Putin as Russia's military edge weakens, officials say, yet Trump calls Putin crazy, predicts Russia's downfall due to the Ukraine war, and Russia suggests Trump has emotional overload after calling Putin crazy over Ukraine attacks. Germany and Ukraine's other allies scrap range limits on arms sent to Kyiv. VP Vance says use of military force under Trump will be careful, decisive, and J.D. Vance issues new warning. Era of uncontested U.S. dominance is over. As Vance tells Naval Academy graduates they are facing new and very dangerous era for U.S. Reuters reports that Taliban in talks with Russia, China for trade transactions in local currencies. South Africa downgrades Taiwan's representative office as it deepens ties with Beijing. Trump signs orders to revive US leadership in nuclear power. U.S. solar keeps surging, generating more power than hydro in 2025. In the U.S., documents show EPA wants to erase greenhouse gas limits on power plants. U.S. will have golden share in Nippon Steel's takeover of U.S. Steel, lawmaker says. Shine's fake discounts break the law, EU says. Visa, MasterCard fees probe widens as EU antitrust regulators look into market power. Cambodia is home to world's most powerful criminal network, report. Poorest 75 nations face tidal wave of debt repayments to China in 2025, study warns. SoftBank's Masayoshi Son floats idea of US-Japan sovereign wealth fund. Sanctions send Russian tanker group Sovcomflot to $393 million net loss. Swiss monthly gold imports from the US hit highest since at least 2012. Taiwan to buy more US oil, gas and farm goods as Trump tariff looms. Macron arrives in Vietnam, signs key deals on aircraft, defense and satellites amid US tariff threats. AfDB cuts Africa's 2025 growth forecast on trade tariffs uncertainty. ECB's Lagarde says euro could be viable alternative to US dollar. High-quality OLED displays now enabling integrated thin and multi-channel audio. After 26 years, NTT Docomo is retiring all its emojis in June. WhatsApp finally launches an official version for iPads. Even atheists in secular countries show intuitive preferences, favoring religious belief. What's the best way to cut onions without crying? New research suggests that thin, sharp blades are key to minimizing tears. In Germany, 47-million-year-old buzzing. First fossil cicada discovered in the Messel pit. Ahead of WWDC, Apple says App Store blocked $2 billion in fraud transactions last year, $9 billion in past 5 years. Musi alleges Apple's App Store removal was orchestrated, seeks sanctions. 7 months ago, Apple kicked Musi out of the App Store based on YouTube lie lawsuit says. Copyright Claims Board is ineffective and costly, watchdog groups say. Malaysia PM Anwar's daughter Nurul Izzah elected as PKR's deputy president, becomes his new heir apparent. Samoa's leader seeks an early election after opponents reject her budget. South Korea bars 2 former acting presidents from overseas travel. IDF aims to capture 75% of Gaza Strip in 2 months, in new offensive against Hamas. 6 months more of war in Gaza to further weigh on growth, Israel's central bank chief says. Israel believes Hamas has 40,000 fighters in Gaza, the same number as before the October 7, 2023 attacks. Egypt working to integrate railways into Asia-Europe trade. Trade crime is soaring, U.S. firms say, as Trump's tariffs incentivize fraud. Timor-Leste to be granted full ASEAN membership in October, says Malaysia PM Anwar. Landmark evolution study shows how rice inherits tolerance to cold without DNA changes. Backyard feeders changed the shape of hummingbird beaks, scientists say. Increased sedentary behavior is associated with neurodegeneration and worse cognition in older adults over a 7-year period despite high levels of physical activity. Trump's FDA chief suggests diabetics should take cooking classes under MAHA agenda. U.S. Argentina launching new alternative to WHO, as Argentina ratifies decision to withdraw from WHO as RFK Jr. visits Buenos Aires. RFK Jr. softens pledge to find autism cause by September. Renault taps Shanghai hub to develop EVs for global markets. German court sends VW execs to prison over Dieselgate scandal. Scientists link Dieselgate to 5,000 premature deaths per year in Europe. Tesla's head of self-driving admits lagging a couple years behind Waymo. Elon Musk granted exception to South Africa's black ownership rules to operate Starlink, and South Africa to offer Musk Starlink deal before Trump meet. 1 month ago, South Africa rejects Musk claims Starlink can't operate there because he's not black. Previously, Musk claimed Starlink isn't allowed to operate in South Africa because he's not black. In the U.S., Doge and agencies canceled 200,000 federal government credit cards, as Doge finds nearly $40 billion in spending linked to government-issued credit cards. Musk says he's disappointed in Big Beautiful Bill, saying it undermines Doge's work. TikTok videos now push infostealer malware and clickfix attacks. China, Taiwan trade accusations over cyberattacks, and mainland China accuses Taiwan of backing cyberattacks on 1,000 sensitive targets. OpenAI's O3 model helps researcher uncover zero-day vulnerability in Linux kernel's SMB stack. UN announces that AI threatens 1 in 4 jobs. But transformation, not replacement, is the real risk, and jobs considered at the highest risk of AI-driven task automation account for 9.6% of female employment, nearly 3 times the share for men. High turnover hits Meta's Llama, as 78% of the original research team exits. Nick Clegg says asking artists for use permission would kill the AI industry. Pakistan allocates 2,000 megawatts of electricity to Bitcoin mining, AI data centers. AI boom adds €150 billion to value of 4 of Europe's oldest industrial groups. Satellite images reveal Russia's plan to launch Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant for its own use. It has been reported as 50 Trump crypto dinner invitees hold tokens linked to alt-right symbols and racist language. Vance to headline Vegas fundraiser for Trump PAC costing $1 million per head. And Trump Media Group plans to raise $3 billion to spend on cryptocurrencies. India's crypto industry urges tax cuts as Donald Trump support softens New Delhi stance. Trump signs orders to overhaul Nuclear Regulatory Commission, speed reactor deployment. In the U.S., CISA loses nearly all top officials as purge continue, and cyber defense cuts could sap U.S. response to China hacks, insiders say. Powell defends Federal Reserve in Princeton speech amid onslaught of attacks from Trump. Outages spike on Elon Musk's X after fire at Oregon data center. And Musk vows to be super focused on companies amid X outages. Adidas warns of data breach after customer service provider hack. It might actually be 20 times easier for quantum computers to break Bitcoin, Google says. U.S. military shifts messaging in Africa, telling allies to prepare to stand more on their own. Trump says Golden Dome missile system to cost Canada $61 billion, but it'll pay nothing if it joins the U.S., and Canada rejects Trump's free offer to join Golden Dome missile defense as 51st U.S. state. King Charles III says Canada faces unprecedented dangers as Trump threatens annexation. PLA attack on Taiwan unlikely, but not impossible, with Trump in White House report. AI-powered weather forecasts could miss extreme storms. Louis Vuitton plans opulent, Frank Gehry-designed Rodeo Drive flagship in Beverly Hills. HYB to sell entire stake in SM Entertainment to China's Tencent, as Tencent increases Korea music exposure ahead of China K-pop move. HBO's Harry Potter series has cast its Harry, Ron and Hermione. Peppa Pig becomes a big sister to baby Evie as Mummy Pig gives birth. Cocomelon animated series moving from Netflix to Disney+. France lobbying Europeans, UK to recognize Palestinian statehood, and Israel warns Europe that Palestine recognition may be met with West Bank annexation. Norway set to reject calls for blanket ban by wealth fund on companies in Israeli-occupied areas, source says. Peru launches war crimes investigation against Israeli soldier following NGO complaint. Europe freezes U.S. travel as Lufthansa, British, Air France, KLM and more slash routes to major cities including New York, Miami, Los Angeles and Chicago to tap soaring demand across Canada, Mexico, Brazil and Caribbean. Trump tariffs brought China to table, halted India-Pakistan conflict. Officials tell court, 10 days ago, Pakistan, China, Afghanistan vow cooperation on security and economy at Kabul meeting. It has been commented as, Pakistan recommits to China bond amid Trump shadow over India ceasefire. State Department announces that U.S. citizens face significant risk of wrongful detention in Venezuela, and more U.S. nationals are currently wrongfully detained in Venezuela than in any other country. Chinese laser cracks spy dream, can read letters size of a sesame seed from a mile away. India approves stealth fighter program amid tensions with Pakistan. It has been commented as Trump's Golden Dome won't work, but it'll make Elon Musk richer. Austrian Chancellor says EU asylum rules are no longer fit for purpose. South Korea says concerned by China's no-sail zone in overlapping waters. Reuters reports that Putin for Ukraine peace wants a pledge to halt NATO enlargement, sources say. Capgemini and SAP partner with Mistral to deploy AI for sensitive sectors. Saudi AI company courts U.S. tech investors and plans $10 billion venture fund. BBC to launch AI-translated Polish language news service. Researchers claim ChatGPT O3 bypassed shutdown in controlled test. Too much ChatGPT? Study ties AI reliance to lower grades and motivation. TSMC to open chip design center in Munich could later support AI development.